Good afternoon and welcome back to my channel. Well, this is the first update on the Veritech VF-1J/A 140L scale from Hasegawa. And so I want to have some fun with this kit, right? The model itself is a nice kit. The cool thing about this, and I did the unboxing on this. Let me go ahead and take a quickie peek at the instructional guide here. The pieces parts are there's quite a few pieces. There probably is a parts count, and I might even have mentioned it in my unboxing. I don't recall. It's been a bit of time, but there's quite a few pieces. The landing gear, for example, like the front gear here. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The wheels themselves were multiple pieces. Now they've gotten their first coat of basic paint. Obviously, I paint them on the sprue for the base, and then all the detail stuff go back sand or do a little bit of finishing around the edging. So you have your outer rim, your inner rim, the wheel, your main piece here, this piece here, that piece there. I did empty this out, so if you look at here, yeah, so if you see this is actually a solid piece. So I just took a pin vise and drilled that out. The detail's kind of nice. There's some nice fine detail on it, and that's I believe that's like a landing light. So painting that up to be a landing light would be nice. So the parts are very nice. The detail on the parts is nice, and there's quite a few. There's a fairly large part count, so it's going to take a bit of time to put this one all together. So I'm taking my time, and I'm looking to take this, even though it is an anime type kit, toward something of a realistic. So I'm going to do this up as if I was doing up like in a 14 or so forth. So I did do the typical rework of the cockpit. I've added some detail in here. I'm going to use my knife so I can slice my finger while I'm doing it. Custom-made seats, or not custom-made seats, but custom-made seat belt. This piece here came from an old, I believe it was an F-15, old F-15 piece that was there. So the kit part doesn't have those ejector seats. It does have the little one right down there. I did go with the display, and I did use the decal from the display. All the rest, though, are painted and shaded. I did add some cabling detail here, along the edge, along this edge here, around here, coming up around, and over here, just to add a little more pop to it, and shaded in here. Now this is not finished. This is just shaded. I do have a little bit of filling to do here, here, and here, and then finish that out. Taking that, doing that gave it a little more pop. And I also, the kit is not designed to have an open canopy. So it's built to have your canopy sealed. And I'm going to put a scissor piece in here so the canopy will be open. I like to display this landing gear down and canopy open rather than closed. So that's, right now that's the intent at the moment. I just gave the basic wheel well a wash for now and a quick dry brush of metallic. We will go back and detail that up later. I still have to do the main, paint scheme and everything. I am going with the 3-color camo. So that's why you're looking at we have the brown base here. This is I had this on hand instead of having to go out and getting a gray, which I actually am out of gray. I apologize for kicking the camera again. I am out of the gray, so going with this. Couple of gotchas, couple little gotchas. The first one I did point out was this. If the detail matters, that's a solid piece. So you have to drill that out. These pieces here, I mean, you could conceivably drill those out as well. That was a little more than I was ready to go for. There are other little bits and bobs that are potential gotchas. So this here, the two pieces for the fuselage front, so that's these here, are on your or on your A sprue. I'm sorry. These gun pods, I guess they're gun pods, are on the B sprue. Now on the A sprue, there is something that looks like that, and I believe it's a detail for the legs. I haven't found what the piece goes to yet, but don't find yourself getting caught when you go to pull this out and cut those pieces out and then realize that that's on the B. They're sitting right next to each other, so that's a potential gotcha while you're building the thing. There's also a ton of little parts. So these two are clear. There's also a clear on the bottom part of this pod here. There are clear parts for the leading wingtips. There's 4 of those. So be aware of where they're going to go and when you want to put those into the build. I'm having to mark some of these things. So these little K pieces, they have, I believe the K sprue. There's 2 K sprues and there's something like 6 of those on each sprue. So there's a whole bunch of these little indents all throughout the build, and there's these crossbars that go in there. So I have those painted on the sprues, and those will go on after I lay down the main colors, sort of a highlight. You make your choice for the head that's buried underneath. This was another thing that caught me. I can't read Japanese, so you can make the pistol grip, or this other piece. Where's it? Here it is. Or this other piece here. This thing is going to slide up in on the underside of the fuselage, so it carries like a missile. I assume you can either do it with the pistol grip or with this. I'm going to do it with this and use the pistol grip somewhere else to just save it. But I didn't realize that. I put the pistol grip together, I went to put it on, and then I saw that piece, and I had to stop. Again, my lack of being able to read Japanese got in the way. So if you're a non-Japanese fluent reader, be aware. These pieces. So this is cool. It actually fits together very, very well. This piece right here is just dry fit. It's stuck in there, and I will display it with that panel open and the strut in. This piece is the piece in the instruction kit, right, or the piece in the instructions that shows you here going up into there, right? That went in nice and tight. Come on, focus, please. Thank you. Went in there nice and tight. Very little. I didn't need to fill any. I will need to do a little bit of fill here along that once I sand that back down again. A little bit of fill along here once I sand these back down again. But very little fill. So far I'm finding very, very little need for filling it on the main seams, as long as you put them together right. So overall, this is a very, very entertaining kit. I'm liking building it a great deal. I think the hardest part for me is I tend to pre-paint where I can, because I don't like trying to paint everything once I've assembled it. So I'm used to making the semi-assemblies, then do the main painting, and then put them together. This is because this has a whole body camo scheme. This is going to be somewhat challenging. I have to paint the details, so the exhaust thrusters, the different things, the wheel wells, the wheels. These all need to be painted separately, then put together, then masked. Now, one of the cool things, and I know I mentioned this on the unboxing, but cool nifty bit here. The kit comes with 2 canopies. It has that canopy there, which is clear, and it has this canopy here that has a seam running right down the middle. And so I'd made the comment that I get to practice doing the seam cleaning process, which I'd never done. I know is somewhat long-winded and tedious, but it's there. I'm going to cheat. I realized as I was thinking about a way to lay this thing out is I could take this one and white glue it in place and get it all ready, and then give my aircraft, once I have it all together, give my aircraft its whole camo scheme. And then when I'm done, I take that off, and then I take this one on, and then I put the details on this one, and then I can display this with the canopy open. So, as you can see, this is essentially, what I'm going to be trying to do here is figuring out a way to stick that in. I can barely see from the direction. There we go. So I'll be looking to stick the canopy in there and display it open. But that's it. It's just kind of a, hey, look, I had this really bright idea. I don't have to worry about masking all this. I can just stick this on with white glue and paint, and then when I'm done, I just take it off and, whatever. I can even put masking stuff on it, so I can still practice the thing I wanted to do, the cleaning of the canopy. But hey, for those of us, I'm pointing this out because it's something else that to make folks aware of. The rest of this, this is where I am so far. There's more to go to. You can see how this will go together. This is an underneath piece. Be aware of where your bays are and so forth. So, I've kind of waffled on now for about 10-15 minutes. So I am going to close for now. This is, the first update of the Veritech. But I'm not a big, I've never really been a big 1/48 scale. I've usually been 1/32. But the detail on this 1/48 is nice. I like it. I am content with what I have been able to do. Obviously the seat detail was not part of the original kit. There's a little bit of stuff I had to do to make that look nicer, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the way I was able to get that to come out. I wanted it to have a dirty and used look, which is what I intend to do with this whole thing, is give it a used and dirty, not abused and battered look, but used. Out in the field, in on campaign kind of feel. So it's a nice enough scale for me to be able to do some of the things that I want to learn how to do and continue to practice. It is a bit of a smaller scale than I'm accustomed to doing, but it's not so small that it's outside my realm of being able to work with. So again, the fit issues so far, there's no fit issues. Everything is snug, very, very snug. The engineering is good. It goes together, like I said, very well. So far, I highly recommend this kit. And again, I'm a big fan of the Veritech. So hopefully next time we talk, we'll be further down the line. I'll give you a little more of where I am with this and what our next steps are. So I hope you're enjoying watching this one, and if you're working on if this is one of the projects on your list, that this helps you, and if it's not one of the projects on your list, maybe it does. If Robotech's one of your things, it's one of mine. So again, thank you very much for your time. I hope this helps, and happy modeling. Wish you happy modeling. There we go. Thank you.